Hello and welcome to another edition of the Unicorn Chef. I am joined tonight by Safe Sex, although I will be calling you David during the podcast because I can't call you Safe. Our safe word, and I don't know. We're all confused, and this is more of a family-friendly show. So Safe Sex, SECS, security, and he highlighted for tonight's charity is Doctors Without Borders. So they're doing great work all over the world. The link is in the chat. The link is also in the YouTube channel. And sir, the floor is yours. Shakshuka us.
Well, Shakshuka, I picked this a long time ago. I had this overseas. I had it in Israel a long time ago. And there was such a big argument, Bryson, about, is it Palestinian? Is it Israeli? What's the dish? What's the dish? I'm like, I don't really care. This is a really awesome recipe. So I grabbed onto it. I fell in love with it, and I did some research. And it's actually actually a Moroccan dish. So they're both wrong. So I'm going to change out of the uniform of the day, and I guess I'll put on my. I bought this specifically for you, Bryson. Maybe the message doesn't apply to you, but I thought I would yeah.
Your opinion wasn't in the recipe. I think it is good advice for life, particularly with what we were just talking about during our pre-show banter.
That is correct. That is correct. You got to have some kind of sense of humor about it. So, yeah. But so we're making shakshuka. So let's think in the best. Now I've never done one of these before, so this is an exercise. So maybe the list, the ingredients. So we're gonna do crushed tomatoes. So basically a 28 ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Now I picked one that I like. It's the Hunt's. Okay, no plug, whatever. But it's the Hunt's with basil. It's really good, but as you can see, it's really pureed. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to use that as a base. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add cherry tomatoes, and I've cut up a bunch of cherry tomatoes and have them. So while we're cooking this, it's going to add a little bit of texture to it, a little bit more thickness, something that when you bite into it, you're like, wow, I taste that. It's really good.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, one of my favorite tricks that I picked up from the show is the episode with Chris Krebs. And he taught me about smoking tomatoes. And so you just take cherry tomatoes, and it's great because I make a batch every week. And at the beginning of the week, I don't even know what I'm going to make with them. I just throw them in there. I smoke them. I cover them in olive oil so they keep throughout the week. And then I'm ready to do any recipe that requires tomatoes with something that has a little bit extra zing to it.
You are truly Cyber Moses. With the epic beard too. I'm trying. Right now I'm in the homeless stage where I look like I should be down in a box in a van down by the river. That's where I'm at with my little experiment with the beard.
I look like I've been living in the box for 3 decades. I don't know where you're going with this. It's not like it gets more refined. There just gets to be more.
That's fabulous. That's absolutely fabulous. So I'm trying little by little. If I shave it, I'm 50, but if I shave it, I look like 12. It's horrible. So anyway, we've gone with the 28 ounce can of crushed tomatoes. We're going to do eggs. I'm going to do 3 in mine, which I need to cut my heat on there. I'm going to do 3, but you can put 5 if you have a nice big dish. And then we're going to use about 3 to 4 tablespoons of Evo, so extra virgin olive oil. We're going to do some purple onions, red bell pepper. Now we're going to do about 3 or 4 tablespoons of harissa. Now I've got some mild harissa, but I'm going to be putting a lot more in because I really love this stuff. Harissa is basically, it's a Moroccan dish or sauce. Basically, it's just red tomatoes, olive oil, garlic, and a couple other things. But it's really good. And then we're going to go have some sea salt. We're going to have some cumin. We're going to have some paprika. Garlic. If you want to put spinach in, you can. So at mission time, I put my spinach and my mushrooms in the freezer thinking, yeah, you're fine. Yeah, it didn't work because I brought it out. Now it's all mushy. So I spent the last day trying to dewater my little bit of my mushroom. So Either way, so we can get started. I've already started to heat up. I've already preheated my oven, so we're gonna do that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the oil. Oh, yeah, did I even go over all of this? Red pepper flakes, feta, and avocado, and then we've got some naan, some Indian naans, really good garlic naan. What we're gonna do is heat this stuff up. We're gonna heat up our oil, on medium heat. We don't want to burn anything. And what we're going to do, the next step is we're going to add our onions and our red pepper. Now, what I've done, I'm going to show you let's see if I can get this right here. My red pepper, what I've done, Bryson, is and everybody else, I've chopped half of the bell pepper up into small, where's my hand? Small little bits, okay? But I also have half of it with larger ones. So it's one of those added texture things. I haven't finished cutting up and dicing the rest of these. Let me see, how much do I have here? So I'll go ahead and cut these up. Also, it's probably good to mention my friend Ben Blinster on Twitter. His father makes knives, and the most phenomenal knives I've seen. Bryson, I think you've seen some of his work, but I'm just going to show you. This is Damascus steel he made for me. Damascus steel. You can even see the pattern in it. It's really wonderful. And the wood is coca something, but it's really a nice wood, and it'll last forever. Good price on this, but he made this for me, and I was just so happy about it.
I really want to commission a Santoku. Blenster, I know you're on. Reach out to me.
Yeah. Well, his dad's the best one. And have Ben do it too, because he usually excuse, oh, I'm just helping Dad. No, come on out there, Ben. Do it, man. Do it. So either way, what I'm doing with all my vegetables is I'm doing half small bits. Where's the camera? God, that's awful. Half small bits and then half big bits. Gives it that texture. So I'm going to do the same with the onion, which I've already chopped onion in little bitty pieces. I'm going to go ahead and finish that. And I don't know if you can see this or not. A really good way to dice this stuff, these onions and anything really that's round, is go ahead and cut it in half. Get yourself, a base where you can set it on. And just make yourself little small cuts in this, not all the way through, almost down to the root. Then come in on the side and just cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. You're doing two cuts, one on the very bottom, one on the very top. Then when I come down and make these cuts, keeping your fingers out of the way, it makes the most beautiful little itty-bitty particles. Really a cool trick, especially if you're in the weeds and kitchens and you got to do it because you don't have a lot of time to prep. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're over medium heat. We're going to add, are we ready to cook? Are we cooking?
I'm ready to cook.
Man, let's cook, dude. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my onions in. I use a lot of onion, man.
There is no such thing as too much onion or too much garlic. Everybody who watches this show knows we cover that every week.
And you know what? And I'm going to chop up some garlic here too. This recipe calls for like two or maybe two. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're actually going to be using. I'm going to be using 4 because we got to keep it's. Come on, man. It's Halloween. We got to keep all the vampires away. So did you hear, Bryce, while I'm doing all this, did you hear about Microsoft saying au non contraire to Flash? The newest update's going to come out soon.
What do you mean?
The newest patch, they're going to remove Adobe Flash.
Oh, I mean, Adobe's going end of life, or Adobe Flash is going end of life at the end of this year, I think, on almost every operating system. Yeah,
well, it's been said and all that, but my thing is that I know, for instance, WatchGuard Offpoint, the MFA solution, the dashboard is Flash. There has been no release, no mention of a release. Cisco AMP, same thing. I think it's Cisco AMP. Yeah, it's Cisco AMP. A part of their portal is all is Flash. Now, there's a way that you can get around it. I think it's the console. Oh, God, what is it called? Some kind of console. Either way, yeah. I think it's going to be a huge impact, and I haven't heard a lot of vendors making many changes if they're going to HTML5 or whatever. I don't know, but it's an interesting. It's good to see though, because Flash sucks. It's really bad.
Only from a security perspective.
Right? Yeah. As far as UI, sure. Woo, pretty, beautiful, love you. Nah, we don't love that. So what we've done, we've added our garlic, our onion, and our red pepper. So I've just added my red pepper. What we're going to do is cook this down until the onions get translucent. The red peppers are going to continue. They're going to stay a little bit firm. And once this is all soft, I'm going to go ahead and my ugly face. We're going to after the onions translucent, I'm going to say maybe 5 to 7 minutes. We'll go 7. We're going to go ahead and throw some salt and pepper. And we're going to lower the heat to medium low, and we're going to add the cumin and paprika. And here I put in the recipe to add the garlic this time, but I really want to extract all the garlic that I can into the onions and the red pepper. So how you doing? What are you drinking tonight, man?
I am drinking an ale with a natural passion fruit flavor by Goose Island.
Oh, wow. Nice. Where is that out of?
Where is Goose Island out of?
I'm going to say Jersey.
Chicago. It's a Chicago beer.
Okay, same country.
Yes. I'm a fan of buy local. There's certainly plenty of things that imports like, but when it comes to beer and things like that, I like drinking as local as possible. The past few weeks, I've been highlighting a local brewery called Lost Rhino.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard of that. Yeah, my favorite spot right around the corner is a place called Casual Pint, and they don't serve any liquor, no canned beer or normal canned beer like Michelob, Bud Light, all that. It's all craft beer, and they even have like a grocery store aisle with the refrigerator units slack full. It's a really cool place. Really cool place.
So what got you into cooking?
Well, it was my first career. It's what I did coming out of middle school, starting high school. I had to have a job, so my first job was washing dishes, and I just kind of went from washing dishes to fry to salad station to grill station, and then I went into the military, came out, and got into technology, running cable. So it seems like everything that I've ever tried in my life, as far as a career, has gone organically. Okay, boom, we're going to start. We're not going to jump into the fire. We're going to start slow. Then I see this. Then I see this. Then I see this. And it just kind of grows and grows and grows and grows. So that's where I'm at. Now I'm a trash man.
You're a trash man?
Yeah, I'm a trash man. I take out people's trash.
So what does that mean exactly in InfoSec?
Well, that means that for instance, I'm doing some reviews on some companies, and I'm looking at some firewall rules and looking at some entry points and doing a little bit of a basic network assessment. And I noticed it's all trash. So I guess it's my job and it pays me. It bought tonight's dinner, so I can't complain, right?
I think I can identify that a little bit. So we conduct assessments all of the time, and not to throw a pitch to our software here, because it's not about the software that we build. This is, I think, just a problem, period, is most of the time they paid for some big expensive software of some type to defend them. And every single time it's like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, one, it's getting the executives to sign off on it and buy off on it. Two, it's to get the engineers and technicians to deploy it properly. If that's not done, holes are done. If no basic really asset assessment's done, you don't know what the hell you have. Yeah. So, well, we're in an interesting time right now. I will say that. So,
I think that's an evergreen statement.
Yeah.
I think we as humanity always believe we are in an interesting time. Right?
Oh,
Wherever we are, you're about to go to hell in a handbasket. There's something that's never happened before. And that's just the evolution and progression of humanity, is that we're constantly faced with these inflection points.
of course. And my problem's always more important than yours. Yeah, always. It's always that ethnocentrism. It's my culture, my way of doing things is so much better that we forget that other people are going through kind of the same thing. It's weird. We're getting on this big philosophical thing. It's really cool. I like it.
Hang out with me more often. I love the philosophical discussions. That's part of what I use to drive the talks that I give at conferences. Is not, here's another PowerShell command. Like, there are plenty of people way smarter than me who do that. I'd rather have the philosophical and the thinking questions. Like, those are what I want my talks to be around. Or let's think about this problem. Let's understand the history of it. Let's understand the context, and let's come at it with something that might seem more counterintuitive until you lay it out, and then you're like, that's what I like to do.
That's interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, I like how that sounds. It reminds me of the saying. I can't remember where I heard it. I don't know where I heard it, but it's wherever you go, there you are. One of those things that, listen, we want to get to a certain part of this, but just remember, when you get there, you are still there. So prepare yourself for it. So far, my onions are looking good. How are you looking over there, man?
I have moved a bit beyond. So my onions and garlic and peppers have got to the point where I've added tomatoes and spinach. So I'm jumping ahead.
Nah, you're good. Yeah, I'm about to start on my tomato. So I'm going to pour this in here. I feel like Martha Stewart, except I'm not a felon. So I'm just stirring this around, and I'm kind of incorporating all this sauce in there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it at medium. We want you want it around medium low. I'm going to do medium. Now, this is the long haul. This is the 15 to 20 minutes. Don't skip out on this, because what you want is your sauce to be really thick to hold the eggs. Because if it's not, thick and strong, the eggs are just kind of run all through it. So I've made that mistake before. It's horrible. And I'm going to add my tomatoes now, and I had some more I needed to cut up, so I'm going to do that now as we go. And shout out to all the people that I know that are watching. I don't know if they made it, but if you did, love you so much.
We've got a pretty active audience here. They're all chatting.
Oh, cool.
I've scrolled a few comments across the screen, so if you see anything that is particularly witty or insightful, you will make it into the broadcast audience.
Oh, okay. I don't see the chat. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong area. Or are you talking about YouTube chat?
So I don't know what it looks like on your end, but for me in the studio, I can see the YouTube chat presented in our while we're doing this.
I see. Well, what I'm doing is just cutting my cherry tomatoes, cutting them in half lengthwise. And that's going to add my tomato texture as well, because the sauce is, it's not thin, but it's still not, it doesn't have the texture. So that's why I'm adding this. All right, I think that I've got everything that I need here. So you added spinach, huh?
Yeah, so I'm throwing it in there because I have fresh spinach. I got to wilt it down. So I'm going to do this in batches because spinach takes up so much volume when it's fresh. I mean, it's this huge amount. And you throw it in and you end up with like this much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to work a few batches in while I heat everything up. And I've got mine covered. So the steam, as it all naturally heats up, will wilt it. And then I can mix it in and I can just keep layering on top to add as much spinach as I want.
Right. I get it. Let me show you what it's almost supposed to look. Oh, my God. The orientation is killing me. I didn't know I was that freaking challenged. Can you see it?
So question from the audience. Is your Harissa pre-prepared or did you make it?
Ooh. Okay, so Mom would tell me, David, watch your ego. Don't do that. Be humble. But hell, I bought the Mina Harissa. Yeah. So I mean, it's red chili pepper, it's red peppers, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, cider vinegar, salt, and a little citric acid. So maybe some orange. But this Mina, I'll advertise again. This stuff is so good. I've already dived into it. I like to have it with eggs, with scrambled eggs. Put it a little bit on top. It's so good, man. But yeah. So it's easy to make.
So I did not use something pre-made. What I did use though is that Spiceway does a lot of great Middle Eastern spice blends. So this is a Lebanese za'atar.
Oh,
my goodness! That's going to give it kind of that same sort of kick, not as spicy as yours, but definitely a very Middle Eastern flavor.
Yeah,
so we're already working basically just making essentially it's like a Middle Eastern tomato sauce with all the other things that's in it. That's how I was doing the version of the Harissa.
Very good, very good. How are we on time? Wow, we're doing good. 7:25. So I put mine in for 13. I've got 13 more minutes left. I might go a little bit more. It just depends on my texture and how thick I'm going to get my sauce. So at this point, I don't know. Could you ask? Everybody's listening, David. You freaking idiot. Here, I'll ask. Is anyone else making this right now, or are you just kind of watching? Because I would be interested in hearing other experiences.
So if you are cooking at home, or if you watch this when it's not live, please hashtag Unicorn Chef, and we are always interested to see what you end up making.
Yeah,
so I'm going to bring up the camera on mine while we're waiting to see people answer. So you can see how I went from a really thick spinach that it's now starting to work down.
Yeah. Oh, it looks wonderful.
So I'm going to do another layer of spinach in there and wilt that on top.
Very good. I'm trying to figure out how to full screen that thing here. I guess I can't full screen.
We are not a professional production here. This is just other people who want to share what they're doing in the kitchen to make it more accessible. And that's it. That's and highlighting charities. That's all we're doing on this show.
I love it. I love it. Things like this, usually when techies get together, we're either picking each other off the floor after a night of drinking, or we're stressing through problems and we're getting through solutions and whatnot. This is good for mental health. Just take a break, man. Do things that you enjoy, talk it out. So you're doing a great job, Bryson. I appreciate you.
Thank you. I know what you mean by that based on what we were talking about earlier. And it's always, it means a lot. I try to do a lot for the community, and that's not always well received, and that's fine. So what did you do in the military?
I was an operations specialist. So I was in the Navy. So I spent my entire 4 years in the Combat Information Center. So I sat in blue lights or red lights and heard garbled communications all day and looked at radar. And that's kind of what I did. And everybody on the ship would always come up, "Hey man, where are we? Where are we?" It's like, dude, I can't tell you that. We're sitting right off the coast of Greece. Don't tell anybody I told you.
You miss it?
I do. When I was in, Bryson, I wanted out so bad. And I was in my 20s. I think I was ready to kind of move on and get on with my career, my life and whatnot. But now that, I'm past the age where I can go back in, I want back in. They need to let me back in. Maybe I'll shave my beard. They'll be like, "Oh, look at that cute little 30-year-old. Like, yeah, sure, buddy. So I've already preheated my butter. I've got my oven preheated to, preheated my butter. I melted my butter and I preheated the oven. So I'm going to be ready at around the, after the 15, 20 minutes of cooking this. I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit on that dish and throw everything else in, the mushrooms in. I don't know if you did the mushrooms. It didn't look like that part of the recipe was on the thing. Maybe it was just too much.
No, the mushrooms were not on the recipe, but I mean, this is like, I mean, for shakshuka, tomatoes, whatever else you want in there, eggs on a bread. That's shakshuka.
Oh God! Oh my God! Yes.
So whatever different ways you want to flavor it, whatever you've got in the fridge, you can throw in there. Experiment.
Yep.
And this is basically just Mideastern pizza with egg.
It really is, and what I've done is I've kind of added a little bit, and what I'm doing is I have a portobello cap, okay, and what I'm going to do is butter the portobello cap. I'm going to put some cherry tomato on it. I'm going to put some mozzarella on it, and I'm going to throw it in the oven. When I pull it out, I'm going to sprinkle it with white balsamic, and boom, there's portobello caprese. It's going to be really good, and it's going to complement this. Now, this whole meal has been without any kind of meat. So add meat if you want.
So what are we doing with the avocado? I honestly couldn't figure that one out.
It goes up. So what? After everything is said and done, and we've got it. We've made our pockets in the shakshuka, and we've cracked our egg in. We've covered it back up for about 7 minutes. You can go further if you want a less runny egg. We're gonna get a spoon. We're gonna basically take run the spoon under the egg and get some of the sauce on there. Put it on our place. The avocado goes boop right on top. With the feta. Now I gotta get the feta. So you can either do the feta cheese on top and then, on the dish, and then put your avocado on, or you can put the avocado first and put the cheese on. Either way. If you notice, this is a Northern African dish from Morocco. And I know everybody maybe want to say it's something else, but it's really not. But I've also added, this whole thing is just kind of a whole mismatch. So I've got the feta, Greece, Naan, India, the portobello caprese, Italy, the shakshuka, African, Israel, whatever you want to call it. So it's just kind of a mix, you know?
And make sure while you're doing this at home, you can dial in the flavors, just like you were doing a traditional sauce of any type. Taste it, adjust.
Yeah. And I recommend eating half the cheese before you start the meal, too.
You just dial down on feta over there?
I am munching down on some feta like nobody's business, man. And I ate half of my matzo ball, so oh well.
All right.
Oh shit! Pardon me.
There we go. That's dialed in.
I forgot to add my harissa. So hopefully this might be good. This might be good. This might actually incorporate very well. Yeah. Now the trick is to keep it covered. I'm sorry. The trick is to keep it covered when we put the eggs on, because that heat, that ambient heat radiating around, is going to cook your whites and your yolk of your egg a lot more efficient. I've got 6 minutes left on mine.
On your what?
On my shakshuka before I incorporate the eggs.
I just put my eggs in.
Yeah, you started a little early. You started before me, a couple minutes before me. I was sitting chatting away. So
yeah. So what I'm doing here on the stovetop is I've got my sauce all worked to where I wanted it. Cracked eggs on it, cover it, because you're poaching them with the heat, holding that moisture in. And then how I'm going to finish mine is I'm going to cook them to probably about a minute from where they would be fully cooked, cover it in feta, and then I'm going to broil it to complete it. So I'm going to get a char on top of mine, and it's
going to melt the cheese. Yeah.
Crust with it.
Nice, man. So you asked me about why I like to cook or how I got started or whatever. What about yourself? What about you? Have you ever cooked in behind the line or anything like that?
Nope, I haven't.
You like to cook?
I was a second lieutenant at my first post and realized I didn't know anything about cooking at all. The internet was not widely available at the time, and I was just like, well, I'm going to teach myself. And I did not buy a recipe book or anything. I was just like, I feel like this is how you make that. And I would just attempt to make it.
Wow.
And yes, no, they were terrible. I made some of the worst things ever. They're probably still haunting this planet. Chicken.
Oh boy. Well, at least you didn't, get sick of salmonella.
Nope. I have never poisoned anybody. Hygiene, of course, is probably, it's not the kind of thing you talk about in a cooking show, but is preeminent as a cook. You were constantly cleaning and separating and paying attention to all of your different ingredients. And yeah, at some point along the way, I just gained enough knowledge from a really bad experience where things started to become good and I started to get better at it.
Yeah.
And then I eventually kind of crossed this point where it turns out I just have a natural knack for cooking. Like the food speaks to me, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. Actually, it really does. I get it.
So I still screw up and I still experiment and I'm still learning. And that's one of the fun things I love about this show is also seeing the different techniques, especially when folks at home also cook something and they're like, well, I did it this way. What do you think? And I'm like, I never thought of that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I got about the show. I started it when the quarantine began and I needed things to keep myself occupied and I love to cook. So I figured I got to cook anyway. Might as well do this with others.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Very, very good, sir. All right. I'm going to get ready for my mushrooms. 1, 2, we'll do 3. Once again, another plug to Blinster's dad, Daryl Hibben. He made my knife. It was really good. Hit him up. If you want a good kitchen knife, well, he does other knives, but I'm not much at all the knives and warrior knives and all that, but I really like cooking knives.
So it's up on the screen right now. Hashtag Daryl Hibben Knives.
That's it. Hey, Ben, if you're I don't know if he's still there. I have no idea. But if you're still there, tell your dad that I'm going to contact him and work on that paring knife that I want to get.
He made bread today. I've seen some of his posts on bread. I've been debating whether or not that's something that we can do on the show. So hopefully we're following up to talk about.
The time would be your constraint.
Yeah, so this is kind of the trick on production. There have been several recipes that aren't even baking, although we've done one baking recipe on the show where you kind of have to do it twice to be able to show preparation and then show finished product.
Yeah. Oh, I get it, because that's how I spend my Sundays, Bryson. I watch cooking shows all day, and that's what they do. They'll start something, and then while they're talking, and all of a sudden they magically walk over here and pull it out, and you're like, what? That's magic. How did you do that? Okay, let me show you my other knife here. This is a Serbian knife, a Serbian chef knife, and I absolutely love this knife. It's sharp. If you drop it on the ground, it will cut its way to China. Okay. Of course, I'm a timer person, and I also use Post-its. Go figure. All right, man. So we're at the time. Let me bring this over here if I can get the orientation right, because last time I'm like, I can't see. Let's see. Do this. There we go. So there's my sauce so far. what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a spoon. I'm going to cut the heat down just a tad. I'm going to get my spoon, and I'm going to make little pockets, little holes. And I'm going to drop my egg in it, in the pockets, and then I'm going to cover it. And this is where the poaching process begins. Let me see if I can get this over here. There we go. So, okay. Cut my heat down just a tad. I'm gonna go ahead and crack away. Well, I need to make my little holes. And I'm gonna do 1, 2. I'm gonna do 3. And just to let you know, if we do less, then what's gonna happen is there's 1, there's 2, and there is 3. So now I'm gonna cover it. Here goes the poaching. So what happens is if you make too much sauce, then that means immediately that you have an instant individual shakshuka recipes you can cook in the morning. So now you got the extra sauce. All you got to do is make your egg. And I'm gonna put my mushroom in now, and I'll show you what that looks like.
So while you're doing that, I'm gonna show my poached eggs here.
Okay. Oh my God. Bryson, it looks fabulous, man. Okay. So let me see if I can just do this less challenging. That's how I'm going to do my mushrooms. I don't know if you saw that or not. Let's see. Little.
Oh, okay. So your caprese.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to melt a little bit and be all kind of goodness. Then I'm going to sprinkle it with white balsamic. Like this. I'm going to go put my naan in. I have a garlic naan. No, I didn't make it. It's pretty good though.
Hey, Dave, what is white balsamic?
Here, hold on. I'll show you. White balsamic. Now, this was made independently in Simpsonville, South Carolina. It's not too far from me. But a white balsamic vinegar, it's less smoky. Well, I can show you. Ridiculously delicious balsamic vinegar, but instead of it being a dark balsamic, it's a white. And I'm sure it's in the ingredients and what it's made of. Let me see if it says. No, you don't see it a lot though. That's the thing. You don't see the white. You see the dark a lot. But I just decided I was going to spin it up a little bit, and I had it available. So is everybody?
Chris was complimenting you on your one-handed skills with the egg cracks.
Yeah, I've cracked a few eggs in my life.
I've
cracked a few heads in my life. Yeah. Yeah. So you're almost done there, aren't you?
Yeah, I got my eggs poached at the level I want them. They have been covered in feta cheese because, I mean, if you're going to have the cheese, you're going to use all of it.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm just going to scorch all of this.
Very good. Oh, I love it. It's all the cheese, all the garlics, all the stuff, man.
Yep.
All right, let me see how I'm looking here. So let me see if I can. Here I go with my challenging, can't get the camera straight self. But that is what it looks like. Let's see there we go. So that's what a poached egg looks like in shakshuka. That's what shakshuka looks like. It's let me go ahead and cover it back up. I'm gonna cook that for a couple more minutes. But yeah, that's it. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put my parsley on and kind of sprinkle it over right now. So now for the winning shot. Damn it, I can't get the camera. Come on, David, you can do this. Yeah. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, man. That's the magic shot right there. It's going to be magically delicious is what it's going to be. All right, so I've got onions in the oven. I've got my naan in the oven. I've got my eggs poaching. Well, I don't have anything else to do. See you later.
So why did you pick the shakshuka? I mean, of all the recipes.
It's my favorite dish, and I haven't one of my favorite dishes, and I haven't had it in a while. It's pretty simple. There's nothing too ground shaking. It's just that I haven't had it, and it's been a couple years. And you asked me to, and I was like, oh God, I've got to make shakshuka. So yeah.
Well, I think it's comfort food.
It is.
It's a little exotic because it's not something that you see very often. But I mean, as everybody's seen here, it's not a complicated dish. There's not a whole lot to it. You just have the certain order, and then after that, it's kind of thing you can reuse, you can modify, and it's a quick dish when you've already prepped for it to throw together.
It is, and you can have it for breakfast, or you can have it for dinner. It's pretty versatile. Yeah,
and just so also like he talked about naan, it doesn't have to be with naan. I'm going to make mine with. I just toasted fresh sourdough bread. I have no doubt that Blendster's bread would be delicious with this too.
Well, I'm gonna take a play out of your playbook, man, and I'm dumping the whole thing, the feta, on there. Yeah.
There's no such thing as too much cheese.
I don't think there's ever such a thing. I think war's been started over that.
What? There's too much cheese?
No, not enough. Wow. All right. I think now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn everything off. As far as my heat, I'm done. I'm just going to kind of let it cook in what it is now. I think I lost a tomato on one of my portobellos. Ah, shoot. Well, let's see if I can save the day here.
All right. Well, I'm about 2-3 minutes out of mine.
I think we coordinated pretty well.
I don't know. I think our shirts clash.
That's kind of funny. I chose this shirt. I switched into this shirt only due because the picture that you had put on there is in this shirt.
Yep.
Well, I might as well adhere to some, but I was wearing a shirt almost like yours to work today.
I
shouldn't have changed.
I think this is the third or fourth outfit I've worn today. Well, I got it. So I don't know. I did 2 recordings today, maybe more. I don't know. It's hard to keep track sometimes. And so, I did 3. I did 3 today. And so I was in a different outfit for each one.
Oh, wow.
One of them was even professional, where I, actually looked like a normal human being with a polo.
What is normal, Bryson?
So it was funny. One of them was a guy I met a couple of years ago, and he wanted to do a webcast. And I show up, first of all, looking with Cyber Moses, and I had one of my unicorn hoodies on. And he was just like, wow, you look completely different. Like, I don't know how to be polite, but the pandemic is like, you're really like something different.
That's amazing. All right. What am I going to do? I'm going to take this off the heat here. Out. All right. So Let me get my naan here. Gonna get the old portobello mushroom.
All right, Ben, you made it with that one.
What happened?
More costume changes than a Lady Gaga concert.
Ow. Yeah, but is it like sausage and chicken, and is it the whole ham? If you do that, man, you're my hero.
No, just normal guy trying to get through each day. There ain't much more to it than that.
Well, Bryson, I'm ready to. I'm done my thing here. I'm ready to see if I can get my camera.
All right, you're about ready to plate.
I have plated. Almost.
All right, you let me know when you're there because mine is starting to char on top, so I'm gonna give it as much time as I can.
I'm almost ready.
Okay.
David's sneaky. All right, so I have now just plated.
Here, all right, I can do this. Nope, I'm not gonna risk it. That stuff's been at 600 degrees.
Oh boy.
So I'm gonna just show my char.
That looks wonderful. A little bit of the crust on the top, the melted cheese.
Yep.
All right.
Now let's see if I can plate it without hurting myself.
You can do this, Bryson.
I think that's the one disadvantage of being a chef is I burn myself more times than I want to.
Yeah,
Not that anybody wants to, but.
So do we still have people watching? I'm wondering if
we do. They're making comments, and
I'm impressed. I thought
you got draw.
Say again.
You got draw.
I'm not sure about
you
draw.
Factor.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll get back on the ye old Twitter. They'll be like, dude, you're an idiot.
All right. I am ready.
Let's see what you got, man.
Wait, I didn't put we got avocado. I forgot avocado.
Oh my God, I forgot mine too. Jesus.
I know you saw that cheese and you just lost your mind.
I'm gonna say you're right. Oh my God, this looks so freaking good.
You ready?
I'm ready. Oh God, that sourdough looks freaking awesome, man. Yes. And mine is a very simple version of what you've done there, except I wish I'd have done sourdough now.
They all work.
Right. All right, let me see. I can't get the camera situated here. I don't even know if you can see it.
Yep, I got it.
That's mine.
All right, get in frame with it so we can take a picture together.
Oh boy. Let's see what I can do here.
Ready?
Yep. Very good. Well, listen, I got my picture, so I'm out. Peace.
Dave, thank you for joining us. Remember, those of you at home, donate to Doctors Without Borders. Take pictures of your shakshuka, #UnicornChef, and join us next week where we're going to have our first return chef, Carolina Terrazas, who has made one of my favorite meals of all time, which was the bacon-wrapped pork tenderloin that kicked off this whole series. So I don't know what she's going to make yet. She hasn't told us, but stay tuned, and we look forward to seeing you.